So, I heard you was trying to make some copycat Chipotle.
I mean, I don't know. It's just something I thought I heard through the grapevine. So if that's you, follow me because I'm gonna show you how you could make a copycat Chipotle bowl that is also Daniel Fast friendly. Hi, my name is Kimberly Taylor and welcome to my channel. Today we're continuing our series on the Daniel Fast. This is a recipe I've tried before from Rainbow Vegan. I'll tag her page down below. But essentially I just do a little tweaks here and there to make it Daniel Fast friendly. So yeah, let's get started.
A big part of our bowl is going to be our sofritas. So to get started, you're going to need some spices. You'll need 1 teaspoon of oregano, chili powder, and ground cumin. You'll also need minced garlic, diced Roma tomatoes, a diced medium onion, tomato paste, chipotle and adobo sauce, and a poblano pepper. To add some flavoring, we're going to char the poblano pepper. You'll do that by coating the poblano pepper with olive oil, then placing it under the oven on high broil for about 5 minutes until it's blistered. In the meantime, prep your tofu. I use the extra firm tofu from Greenwise, but you can also use a super firm tofu for a more meaty texture. First, you want to extract as much fluid as you can from the tofu. Since I have a rolling pin, I use the rolling pin to extract as much water as I can, but you can certainly use your hands to press out any fluid. And then I remove the paper towels and squeeze the tofu to extract any leftover fluid. Once the tofu is drained, it's time to crumble. Think of sofritas as the vegan form of ground beef. So you want to crumble it until the pieces become a meaty-like consistency. Right about now, your poblano peppers should be all nice and charred. You're going to see some dark blisters, and that's going to give it more of a smoky flavor. Set it to the side, and let's get started with cooking the tofu. You'll need 2 skillets. Line both of the skillets with olive oil. In one skillet, add the tofu to cook on high heat, allowing the bottom layer to brown. In the other skillet, add your onions and garlic and allow to saute for about 5 minutes until the onions begin to brown. Next, add the spices and tomato paste. And finally, add your diced tomatoes and allow to cook until the tomatoes soften. After 5 to 7 minutes, your tofu should be ready to flip. Use a spatula to flip the tofu to allow the other side to brown for another 5 to 6 minutes. Once the tomatoes have softened, add the onion and tomato mixture to a blender. Next, throw in your charred poblano pepper, chipotle pepper and adobo sauce, half a cup of salt-free vegetable stock, a splash of red wine vinegar, then blend until all ingredients are thoroughly mixed. Once complete, add the blender mixture to the tofu. It'll be a little thick, so you can add a little more vegetable stock or water to make it a little more saucy, and then add seasoning to taste. I added complete seasoning, accent, then I let it boil down into a sauce reduction and added parsley for flavor. You'll know it's ready when it looks similar to spaghetti meat sauce. When you're done, transfer it to a bowl to cool, and it's all ready to serve. Moving on to our black beans. In my opinion, these saucy black beans are to die for, and they're very filling. So because we are on the Daniel Fast, we are not going to use the canned beans. Instead, opt for the dry beans. Take 2 cups of black beans and allow it to soak overnight or for a couple hours, and then boil them. The soaking is going to help it cook faster. In the boiling pot, add a dash of baking soda, which is going to help tenderize the beans, and salt. While that cooks for about 30 minutes, prepare your ingredients. Dice a medium red onion and mince some garlic, about 4 to 5 cloves. Next, you will need a 12 to 14 ounce can of salt-free diced tomatoes, as well as some spices. Once your beans are cooked, drain it and set it aside. In a large skillet, add some olive oil and saute the onions until they're brown, about 5 to 7 minutes. Next, add in your minced garlic and spices. Allow that to saute for about 2 to 3 minutes because you don't want it to burn. Then add in your beans and allow to simmer for a couple minutes. Then salt to taste. Again, I use complete seasoning and accent. Finally, add in your tomatoes with the tomato juice. The tomato juice adds a little acidity and also aids with the sauciness of the beans as it boils down to a reduction. At this point, you can add a little more seasoning and spices to taste, then finish off with cilantro for freshness and a drizzle of olive oil for richness. Let it simmer until the beans thicken, and when it's ready, transfer it to a bowl to cool. Now for the base of our bowl. I made brown rice, but you can use any type of whole grain like quinoa or barley. Follow the instructions on the packaging for the water to grain ratio. I brought 2 cups of water to boil. I added salt and olive oil to the water, 1 cup of rice. Since I had brown rice, I do wash my rice, so I did that. Once the water was at a boil, I added in the rice, and then I lowered the temperature into a simmer until the water evaporated. Once your grain is cooked, separate it in a bowl and allow it to cool. Then squeeze lime juice all over the grains and add chopped up cilantros to add flavoring. Now for the crowd pleaser, the guacamole. If you're not a fan of avocados, then I don't know what to tell you, but if you are, then you're really gonna enjoy this recipe. All you need is 2 Hass avocados, chopped up cilantros, diced red onions, a lime, and salt and pepper. The key to really good guac is the acidity. You want to squeeze as much juice out of that lime as you can. The best way to do this is to dice up the avocado, which this one was a perfect avocado. We love a perfect avocado. And mash it in a bowl. Once you have it mashed, squeeze the lime juice. This way the lime juice can saturate all of the fruit. I mean, is avocado a fruit? I think it's a fruit. Anyway, continue to mash the avocado, then add salt and pepper. Add your fixings of chopped red onions and cilantro. This part is honestly according to taste, so you can add a little more or a little less of any of the ingredients until it suits your taste palette. And the result will be a tangy and creamy guacamole. Finally, the cherry on top, or should I say the pico on top. Similar to the guacamole, the ingredients for this recipe are simple. First, you want to drain out the excess water from your tomatoes by salting them in a strainer. Moving on to our corn. Bring a small bowl inside of a large bowl, then place the corn at the center of the small bowl to shave the corn ears off. I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna take a little elbow grease. Once you finish shaving both of your corn, bring it to your skillet to char. This will add a slightly smoky flavor to the corn. Similar to the poblano pepper that we started off with, you want to char the corn on high heat until you see blister marks. Once the first side is ready, use your spatula to flip it on the other side. Once it's ready, bring it to a bowl to cool. In a large bowl, combine all of your chopped ingredients. Next, squeeze the juice from half a lime and season with salt and pepper. Use a utensil to toss the contents thoroughly, creating a colorful mixture. Do a little taste test and then season accordingly. Finally, it's time to put our bowl together. By now, you're probably thinking, okay, this fast may not be that bad. Trust me, it's not. You just have to get a little creative with the food choices that you make. Start off with loading in your base, then adding your saucy beans, then your meaty sofritas, sprinkle in some pico, and top it off with some guacamole. Now that's what I call a copycat Chipotle bowl.
It's giving well fed on a Daniel fast. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I'm here to help. Just think of me as your Daniel Fast bestie. Like, we are in this together. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And also check out the other videos I have in this Daniel Fast series to help you on your Daniel Fast journey.